here with Bob Stapleton, a commercial laundry engineer for the past, how many years, Bob?
30 years now.
30 years. And you work for which company?
I work for Bootech Limited.
Bootech Limited. And what do you primarily do? Primarily,
we look after all manner of laundry machines, but with a particular bias towards feeders and folders.
Okay, these are commercial.
Yeah, commercial and industrial.
Okay, Bob, 30 years is a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
What transformation have you seen in the last 30 years? What changes? What has happened? What have you witnessed?
Massive changes. You've seen. We always did have large commercial laundry groups in the UK, but you've seen that now whittled down to basically one, which is Elise. You've seen the loss of a lot of the intermediate size laundries, regional laundries, that basically tried to do the same thing as the big companies, but then they lost touch with their smaller customers, be able to give them that kind of personal service. There is a lot of the smaller size laundries now emerging, dealing with very, very, very local customer base.
So these small size commercial laundries which are emerging, do you think this is to fill the vacuum left by the other sort of medium-sized laundries?
Absolutely. Now in the UK, there's only really one laundry group that does the NHS contracts. That's Elise. They have that completely sewn up. Nobody else does that.
What about Sunlight or
Well, Sunlight, that's who Sunlight used to be.
Oh really? Okay,
yeah,
I didn't know
Sunlight
that.
it went from Sunlight, then they were bought out by a Scandinavian group called Berenson. So then it became Berenson. Then Berenson got swallowed up by Elise, which were basically Elise are across the whole of Europe and now in the UK.
So really, we don't have any sort of bigger, larger, group laundries other than the
No,
one
you have operators like Clean Linen.
Okay, but are they not more sort of regional based, or they?
Well, they are national to a degree, but they are limited to their spread as such. You have also, I'm just trying to think of the other one. They primarily workwear. Johnson. I mean, Johnson used to be the byword for high street laundrettes and things like that.
Dry cleaners.
Yeah, dry cleaners, yeah. But they've now moved into the commercial sector. They've been there for a while. But they tend to be sort of, again, fairly regional. But there are so few of those now.
Right, okay. So, Bob, what typical job are you called out on a regular basis by the commercial laundries?
It's normally production, not faults as such, but production worries, the appearance of linen, the efficiency of a machine. We normally get called to a lot of that, where a customer will say typically, this machine's dropping a lot more pieces than it used to, the folds are not very good quality, or I have a machine that occasionally doesn't do what it's meant to do. It's a complete cross-section of faults and concerns. That then filters down into, do you have second-hand machinery? Do you know where I can get hold of this? Have you a spare part for this? Right up to, we would like this machine refurbished, or we have an old machine, can you refurbish it?
Okay. What would you say to a launderer, things that they can practically do to minimize any breakdowns, minimize calling you guys out basically?
Yeah. First thing, keep it clean. Lint, string, dirt of any kind will eventually kill any machine. It will build up on the back of belts, it will get into chains and bearings, etc, etc. It will cover photocells, those kind of things. Just good, normal, everyday housekeeping is vital. If you want to go further than that, you see a lot of laundries of a certain size don't have on-site engineers, so they tend to have to do things themselves.
Okay.
So I kind of get a little bit nervous about saying too much about what other things to do as regards maintenance and whatever.
Right.
But certainly for a start off, just keep it clean.
So basically, good housekeeping.
Good housekeeping indeed.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Any sort of common part that people should stock up? Obviously, I'm referring to the commercial laundries. Any common parts you all should have?
Well, that can be particularly machine specific.
Okay.
Certainly with things like folders, if yours is a machine that uses photocells to measure, it's handy to have a couple of those on there. Certainly some belt material, so in the event of an emergency you can make up a belt to get you past. But really and truly, as far as other bits and pieces going, it's awkward to be able to sort of give specifics, because that's money sitting on your shelf that might not get used.
True. Okay, well, my observation has been over the last few years, there's a dramatic decline in the service engineers.
Oh, my favourite subject. In this country, we are going to, within the next 10 years or so, are going to find we are a massive black hole as far as experienced, multi-skilled laundry engineers, not just laundry engineers, I'm talking about engineers across the board. Because the large, heavy industries and those firms that used to give those kind of engineering apprenticeships have gone, and nothing is filling that space. So yes, we are going to suffer.
How do you think? I mean, is there anything happening by the industrials, movers and shakers to mitigate this?
No. There have been lots and lots of various government schemes, but they're terribly underfunded. There's no incentive now for large firms or medium-sized firms, to take on apprentices, and even if they do, the apprenticeship schemes that they sign up to are limited, because the whole idea is to get somebody apparently trained in the shortest period of time. Right.
So basically, we are doomed. In this regard.
Somebody somewhere has to be bold enough to take the initiative.
Yes, be creative and
absolutely.
Act before it's too late.
Yeah, and the other thing, of course, is that you need to give the incentive to young people, and I'm talking about like females here as well, because I've noticed a big increase in females, girls, women getting involved in the trades.
Oh, really?
And I'm talking about the electricians, the builders, the woodworkers, plasterers, all that kind of thing. I'm seeing a big increase in that.
Right.
And we need to take advantage of that.
Sure.
And keep that interest there. If you don't give them something to get involved in, if you don't give them any kind of incentive, they're going to be sitting there wanting to write video games.
Well, that's definitely the trend of the day.
Yeah.
Bob, thank you very much.
No problem.
Any last few words for the viewers that you want to share? Any tips, any thank yous to your colleagues or anything like that?
Well, always a big thank to my boss Steve. Through the whole of the pandemic, he was an absolute rock, kept us all going, and considering we're a fairly small firm, that was a massive ask of him, and fair play to him for standing up for that. My colleague John, typical Yorkshireman, straight as you like, doesn't mince his words, but a bloody fine engineer.
Brilliant. Bob, once again, thank you very much. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you.